What's up, guys? Welcome to the video. My channel name is College Football Frenzy, back here with another schedule breakdown video. And today I'm going to be doing the Missouri Tigers 2020 football schedule breakdown. Missouri was a team that had a pretty easy schedule despite being in the SEC last year. There were only a few tough games like Florida and Georgia. They got a few favorable crossovers, including playing against rival Arkansas, and it really looked like it could shape up to be a pretty good season. Obviously, they were banned from playing in postseason play, even though they finished bowl eligible, just because of the fact they got in trouble with the NCAA and stuff like that. So they didn't play in a bowl game. But I think a lot of people coming into the 2019 season expected Missouri to probably have like at least 8 wins. The schedule, in my opinion, was very favorable. They really could have started out 6-0, 7-0, and really, just to everyone's surprise, Missouri was a very big disappointment last year in the SEC, in my opinion. It obviously started off losing to Wyoming. That was a huge shocker. They lost to Vanderbilt. They lost to a few other average teams. Their schedule is not that tough. Against the couple tough opponents they did have to play, they were terrible. I think they got shut out by Georgia, and they played horribly offensively against Florida at home. So it really wasn't a great season for Missouri overall. Again, they finished bowl eligible, but they didn't make a bowl because of the NCAA issues. Their final FBI rank, despite all this, was 32 in the nation, the 32nd best in the nation. I don't know how that happened, but they're ranked pretty high in the FBI. Their recruiting class rank for 2020, it was just updated today on 24/7 Sports. It's now 53. It was 50 previously. Now it's 53. That's the second worst in the SEC, only in front of division opponent Vanderbilt. That's the only team that has a worse recruiting class in the SEC. In terms of changes at talent and in coaching, Elia Drinkwitz is the new head coach, first off. He's the new head coach. I think it was probably a surprising move. It's interesting to see because he was a pretty good head coach at App State last year. They had a 13-1 season, arguably the best season in program history. Yes, they won FCS National Championship, but playing in the FBS, that's tough no matter whether you're in the Group of 5 or the Power 5. It's a tough jump from the FCS to the FBS, and he had a great season with App State, winning the Sun Belt Conference, winning the New Orleans Bowl. So they had a great season, finishing in the top 20. So I think, having him coming in, that definitely should bring in some big changes. I think looking at what he did at App State, that's a good sign. But then again, he hasn't really had too much other experience at Power 5 schools, so that might hurt, and we don't know too much about him overall. So that's something we got to look out for. That could be the one negative of this coach hiring. But overall, it should be interesting to see how he coaches at Missouri. It's definitely one of the more intriguing coach hires probably in all of college football. And then talent-wise, the returning production, I hate to say it, is not very good for Missouri. It's the third worst in all of the SEC this year. Only LSU and I believe Mississippi State have worse returning production than Missouri in the SEC this year. It's 100th overall in all the FBS. 53% of returning productions coming back for them. 43% on offense, so the offense isn't going to be very good. I wasn't impressed with it last year, and it's probably going to be worse for this upcoming season. And 64% is coming back on the defense, so a little bit better on the defense, but still not great. So overall, the recruiting class for SEC standards, it's not very good, and for returning talent, it's not very good overall. It's a lot of negativity. I understand. If you're a Missouri fan, you're probably not liking what I'm saying. I understand. I completely get it. But I'm just saying the stats before we get into this thing. It might be a transition year for Missouri. They might take a step back overall. Law changed. They're losing a lot of talent, and they have a new head coach. So I'm just getting that out of the way. But without further ado, let's get into the schedule. Of course, you have a few easy games that'll help you come closer to getting bowl eligible. So they're definitely going to be, I think, on the cusp again this year of being a bowl eligible team. The schedule, I think, is definitely a little bit harder than it was last year, but still pretty manageable. 1 Central, Arkansas, that's an easy win, no doubt there. 2 Vanderbilt, I would say guarantee, but they lost to Vandy last year, to my surprise. So it's not a guarantee. I'll favor Missouri. They're at home, and overall, Vanderbilt's just terrible right now. They have a couple new coordinators going through a big change. I don't think they're going to be very good overall. So I'll take Missouri, but, I'm not going to guarantee it because Vanderbilt beat them last year. 3 at South Carolina. South Carolina had one of the hardest schedules, actually really the hardest schedule in all of college football last year. I think they were a lot better than the record suggested. I think they're a decent team overall, and it's at South Carolina. I think their talent's pretty good. It's much better than Missouri's in my opinion, at least their recruiting class. So I think South Carolina wins this one here. I trust Muschamp more, even if he's not the greatest coach in the world, even though he might have a hot seat. I trust him a little bit more than Drinkwitz. So I'll take the Gamecocks here to hand Missouri their first loss. For Eastern Michigan, really shouldn't be that much of a problem. This is a MAC school that's not very good. Hey, they did give Pittsburgh a big challenge in their bowl game, but aside from that, not much that Eastern Michigan did this past season. So I'll take Missouri here. 5 at Tennessee, team you lost to last year, I think, in one of your last games of the season. For this upcoming season at Tennessee at Neyland Stadium, tough place to play. Tennessee's pulling in a top 10 recruiting class. I like what Pruitt's doing. They have pretty good returning talent overall. This is going to be, in my opinion, a very good football team. I think they can definitely challenge some of the better football teams. So Tennessee is definitely, I think, going to win this one. I think they'll win it pretty easily overall. So I have the Vols in this one. 6 at BYU, one of your must-win games that's up in the air. It's an up-in-the-air game that you really need to win if you want to be bowl eligible. At BYU, no easy place to play. We saw Boise State fell there last year. Of course, they're the rival, but still, we've seen a lot of schools go down at BYU, so it's definitely not a guarantee. I would favor probably BYU because they're at home. It's a tough travel for Missouri overall. So I would favor BYU in this one. I could see Missouri winning it, but I would definitely favor BYU in this one. But again, I would not be shocked if the Tigers win it. 7, Georgia. Probably your second hardest, maybe hardest game on your schedule overall. I don't see you winning this. Georgia is so talented. A lot of returning talent coming back. One of the best recruiting classes in all of college football. Great coaching staff. I'll take the Bulldogs here, winning pretty easily. 8, Kentucky. Kentucky lost Lynn Bowden. That's a big loss. Great wide receiver who also plays quarterback. But they're gaining Joey Gatewood from Auburn through transfer portal. I think that definitely helps. This is another game like BYU that's up in the air that I could see you winning, but I would favor Kentucky in this one. I think Kentucky overall is a better recruiting class, probably some better experience, talent. So I would favor Kentucky in this one. But like BYU, this is a game I could definitely see you winning in. But I would favor Kentucky. 9, bye week. Nice time to rest up before a couple big games. 10 at Mississippi State. I like that they hired Mike Leach. I think Mississippi State, their returning production is not very good, but their recruiting class is pretty good. It should be interesting to see how they do overall. I think though playing at Mississippi State and Starkville, that's definitely going to hurt a lot. I think you can be competitive in this game, but I'm going to favor Mississippi State to win this one. 11 at Florida in the swamp late in the season. I think Florida at this point only has one loss. They're going to be competing to try to get in the playoff picture. They're not going to slip up this late in the season. I'll take the Gators easily here. 12 Louisiana. They were actually a pretty good team last year in the Sun Belt, believe it or not. They won their division. That being said, it's a home game for Missouri. They shouldn't slip up here. They should really win this game. I appreciate that Missouri did not play, never mind. Central Arkansas, I believe, is actually an FCS school. Never mind. I was going to say I appreciate Missouri not playing an FCS school, but that's wrong. Central Arkansas is an FCS school. But I at least appreciate Missouri not playing an FCS school that late in the season. But Louisiana, not a great school overall. Missouri should get it done here. And 13, Arkansas. Always great when you get to play Arkansas and Vanderbilt every year, no matter what. Missouri is very lucky that this is the rivalry. It's basically a free win right now. Sam Pittman, I'm sure he'll definitely help things. He's definitely better than Chad Morris. And they've got a pretty good recruiting class overall, Arkansas. They've got Felipe Franks coming in. So it definitely should be more of a challenge than last year. But you're home in this one. And overall, I think you can get it done here. So I'll take the Tigers. So overall, I think you're either a 5-7 or 6-6 team. It's hard to say. Central Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Louisiana, Arkansas, Eastern Michigan are your very, very, very likely wins. So I think you get 5 wins right off the bat. But then I think you have a couple guaranteed losses. I think at Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, those are guaranteed losses. And I think all the rest of your games are games I would favor the other team in, but I could see you winning. So I would say I would favor you in 5 games, and I would favor the other teams in 7 games. That being said, I'm going to throw you a bone. Again, it could be anywhere in my opinion, from 5-7 to, if you have a very good season, maybe 8-4. I'm going to throw you a bone, though, and say you get an upset, maybe at home against Kentucky, maybe it's at BYU, or at Mississippi State, or at South Carolina. One of those games, you win. You win. I could see that happening. They win one of those games, win one of those SEC games, and they end up going 6-6. So the same record overall as last year. I have you at 6-6. I'm going to throw you a bone and say you get a win in one of those games. Again, you have 5 guaranteed wins, 3 guaranteed losses, in my opinion. The rest are in the air, but I still think you would not be favored in all in any of them. But overall, I think you win at least one of those games. So I have you coming in at 6-6. Again, in my opinion, it doesn't look like talent-wise Missouri is going to be very good next season, and they have a new head coach, so it's going to take time. Definitely not going to be an easy process. So right now, 6-6, same record as last year. It's not going to happen right away. Missouri's not going to go 9-3 in Drinkwich's first year or anything like that, in my opinion. So I have the Tigers at 6-6, making a bowl game. I think that would be considered a good season for the Tigers if they would be able to win their bowl game, finish with a winning record. It would be an improvement from last year overall. So yeah, that's my overall record for them. Just again, the schedule, I think it's a little bit tougher than last year, and your talent's not great. But anyway, guys, thank you for joining in. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Check out all my other videos. Make sure to tell your friends about these videos. I appreciate every subscriber. And that is it for now, guys. Thank you for joining in.